Home prices in Florida are finally falling. 4 of the top 5 most at risk for home price decline are in Florida. Yes, Florida is finally going to experience and is experiencing home price relief. We saw in other areas of the country where we have pandemic boom towns experiencing home price decline at the double-digit rate, right? In places in California, Idaho, Nevada, and even different parts in Texas. And so Florida is finally experiencing some relief, some slowdown in home prices. And on top of that, a lot of insurance companies are coming out of Florida. So there's sort of an Armageddon happening in Florida, where I believe the housing market in Florida is finally going to switch. Now we have all the data and all the information that we're going to drill into, just looking at home prices, looking at another insurance company that's coming out of Florida, and talk about where Florida is heading in the housing market. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. I talk about the housing market, personal finance, and the economy as a whole. All right, so a report from CoreLogic suggests that while home prices will continue to increase across the nation, some metro areas will see a decline in home price over the next year. Now, CoreLogic released its top markets where we will see home price decline in 2024, and most of them are in Florida. So here are the top 5. So number 1, you have Utah. Utah is still experiencing price decline. Utah absolutely exploded during the pandemic, right? A lot of West Coast cities that are in states that are tax friendly, right? And so you had that happen with Utah, and they've been experiencing some price declines, and so they're predicting even more price decline in Utah. And then the next 4 are all in Florida. So you have Lakeland, Winter Haven, Florida, Northport, Sarasota, Bradenton, Florida, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Port St. Lucie. And so these 5 markets are very high risk, right? 70% probability of declining home prices over the next 12 months. And I absolutely agree with that, because what goes up must come down. And you saw that happen with other cities, like especially in Texas, where you had a lot of people migrating from California down to Texas, and you saw the huge price increase during the pandemic when we were taking advantage of lower interest rates. But now we're finally seeing that in Florida, where Texas started to go down probably a year ago, but Florida kept on going up. Most of this year, Florida home prices just been increasing, right? But other areas like the boom towns of Texas, of California, of Nevada, of different areas were decreasing. And so finally, it's just taking a little bit longer for Florida to finally feel the impact of higher interest rates, of maybe insurance companies coming out of Florida, and the different factors around the economy. And so I do see Florida being a state where you will find more deals, right? You're going to find more discounts on different properties. And then another thing is data suggests that home prices will increase year over year, 4.5% from 2023 to 2024. I don't know how much I agree with that stat from CoreLogic, because home prices overall for the year is not even up that much from 2022 to 2023. I think it may be close to that, but I believe it's lower. So I don't see next year increasing, only if supply stays low or gets even lower. I do believe a lot of areas in Florida will decrease in home price. And if you look at Redfin data, overall, you see home prices. This is represented by the blue line, 2023. The black line is 2022. For the most part, most of this year, we've been below 2022. So our year over year home price has been in the negative. It has recently increased over 2022, and that's because of the supply issue. And so hopefully we can get down below this black line again for the rest of this year. But with supply, it may hover above it. But CoreLogic predicting a 4.5% increase year over year, I just don't see it, because you didn't even see that at its peak this year, a year over year increase of even close to 3% this year. And right now it's at 1% or 2% right now, actually. So we'll just see. And then another thing is, let's go to one of these cities. So I believe one of the cities, Port St. Lucie. And so if I go Port, okay, so most of this year you see that it's been above 2022, right? So at the start of the year, it was 13% year over year. So Florida was still booming when a lot of cities, especially in Texas, were double-digit declines happening. And even throughout most of this year, up until May, you used to see it go below the black line, and then went back above it, and then went back below it, and then went back above it. So most of this year it's been above 2022 home prices. And even if you look at other cities, like for example Miami Miami is absolutely killing it right now. Right now, 10% year over year with home prices. It looks like it has an upward trajectory, but I believe it's going to start crashing. I truly believe the housing market in Florida is at risk of a ticking time bomb. I do believe that home prices will decrease, mostly because of this issue right here. Insurance companies. Insurance companies are getting out of Florida. So Farmers Insurance, I actually have Farmers Insurance with my rental property here. They're the latest home insurance to pull out of Florida's market, labeling the move as a business decision that was necessary to effectively manage risk. And so we know the different risks associated with Florida, right? Natural disasters that happen in Florida, different hurricanes that, produces extreme poverty and extreme hurt and damage to properties. And then unlike Farmers, which announced a decision earlier this month, AAA will continue to write new home policies in Florida, aside from those it's choosing not to renew. Other insurance companies, they're kind of staying in there, just being selective at what type of houses they're insuring and the areas that they're insuring. But Farmers, they're all like, we're just going to completely come out of Florida. We're not trying to deal with Florida at all. And so with an average premium of $6,000 per year, that's crazy. The average premium for insurance in Florida is $6,000 per year, and the average is $1,700. That's ridiculous, honestly. That's crazy high. And so it's 42% higher than a year prior. So premiums are already 42% higher. So just in the last 18 months, 15 companies have stopped writing business in Florida. 3 have voluntarily withdrawn, Farmers being the most recent, and 7 companies have been declared insolvent. The exodus, which the Insurance Information Institute calls a man-made crisis, is driven by 2 factors in its view: legal system abuse and claim fraud. This Insurance Institute thinks that this exodus is caused, they're overreacting to things, but I think it's a good business decision if you're an insurance company not to go in an accident-prone state or a natural disaster-prone state. And even other parts of Florida, like California, where there's a lot of fires, I know a lot of insurance companies don't even mess with houses in certain parts of California. And so you have the whole state of Florida experiencing hurricanes, exploring this and that. I believe that's probably the most thing. But they're saying legal system abuse and claim fraud, right? So when people come and they're saying, hey, I need to file a claim, my place is messed up. According to what the Insurance Information Institute is saying, that a lot of people commit fraud, right? They're saying that people are coming there being like, hey, this is wrong with my house, but really nothing is wrong, or maybe they caused the damage themselves, or things of that nature. And on top of that, they're going in legal battles with them. When an insurance company gets a claim, they have to determine whether this claim is justifiable or not. And if there is an issue, the insurance company can deny that, but then the homeowner can take them to court. And that's where more cost is coming to the insurance company. 79% of homeowners insurance lawsuits occurred in Florida. So out of the whole country that experienced home ownership lawsuits with insurance company, 79% occurs in Florida. Ridiculous. So, and I think it's a combination of 2. Maybe 2, people are taking advantage of the system, but I don't think that's so much it. I think it's people are literally their property is being damaged from natural disaster. And so these insurance companies, they're trying to make money, right? They're not going to insure every case that comes their way. And so when a homeowner disputes that, they take them to court, right? Because they have to pay up. They do. So that's costly for insurance companies. And a lot of what they're paying goes toward legal fees rather than the damage itself. This is crazy. Can you imagine as an insurance company, someone has a $150,000 priced home. It gets hurt from a tornado, right? They want some claims. Insurance company says no. They go to court. The insurance company ends up paying the whole damage of the house in legal fees. You might as well just pay out the claim, but that's neither here or there. And it doesn't help that most Florida housing markets saw home prices jump over 50% between March 2020 and April 2023. So you're seeing, on top of premiums increasing, you're seeing home pricing increase, and you have higher interest rate. And so that's why I see a flood of discounts coming towards Florida, because you have the risk of natural disasters, right? It stops investors from investing in certain areas, right? It stops people from coming to the different areas. So that increases the supply. You have home price increase and interest rate increase. So there's less buyers for a house in And so people are forced to get discounts or put discounts on their properties. And so hopefully we'll see this price decline happening in Florida. The first has to do with claims from recent hurricanes. So they're talking more about the claims. You got Irma, Michael, and Ian. So that generated 3 million claims filed and resulted in approximately $46 billion in estimated insured losses. Then there's reassurance rates that have gone up 52% on average in the last year. So in 1 year, 52%. I even saw that for my car insurance, and I don't even live in Florida. And I see my insurance probably went up like close to like over 35%. Now, it's not like hurting me because it was from $70 to like $100 a month, which is still crazy high, but like of an increase, but $100, I can afford that. But it's still crazy to see that jump in housing insurance in Florida. So here they were just talking about different things and how they're kind of still staying in the state, but farmers on the other hand did not explain this decision beyond doing so to manage risk exposure. Because AA was trying to explain why they were doing what they're doing. Farmers all like, yo, it doesn't need any explanation. We're out of here. Like, they're being real. They're like, yo, Florida, it ain't the spot. Yeah, so you see that happening. And so right here, they're talking about less competition there is among insurance. So the more control they have over the market. So the more you have these insurance companies coming out of Florida, the less insurance company you will have, which will drive up prices because they control the market, right? They can talk to another insurance company and be like, yo, let's just set these prices stupid high. There's not as many competition. Where they're going to go for insurance? They're going to insure it themselves. You had that issue in Florida also. Another option though is Citizen Property Insurance. It's a state-backed insurance company, right? And so they're saying a lot of people are going to go to that company because they're 40% less than these private insurance companies. Now, right here talked about a landlord, but not like a big time landlord, just an assistant professor, has 2 separate houses and he rents them out, right? Investment property and everything like that. So he renewed insurance in April and his premium went up 25% a month later. Now, Dan said the insurance company sent him a notice that it was pulling out of the state. And by June 30th, his policy was canceled. On top of his insurance in April, his premium went up 25%. And then a few months later, the insurance company was all like, yo, we're out of Florida. We're going to cancel your policy. A lot of homeowners are going to be stuck with that. And so what does that do for the housing market? Now, people are like, I'm not going to invest in Florida because I can't have proper insurance. Number 2 is you're going to have a lot of people have damaged homes that they can't get insurance from, right? And so what that would do is that a lot of people still have mortgages on these houses. And so now that they can't pay off their mortgage because their home is damaged, they're not getting any rent from it, and their insurance company is out of the picture, how are they going to pay off that mortgage? Well, they're going to file for bankruptcy, or the house is going to go into pre-foreclosure. And so that will increase foreclosure rates in Florida. And so that's an opportunity for people to buy if they want to take the risk of investing in Florida, because you're probably going to get a huge discount on a property like this. And so that's what happens. Do you want to live in an area like that? That's just up to you, but you could probably get a discount in the future, but you'll probably be paying high flood insurance if there's any insurance in your area and things of that nature. So he said, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, whether I'm going to try and find a policy or just go without insurance. A lot of people in Florida are doing that, just going without insurance. Companies also have been more selective of the homes they insure, right? So they start looking at roof conditions. If consumers' roofs are over 10 to 15 years, they require them replacing the roof in order to secure coverage. They're also limiting the age of the home. And on top of that, they're choosing only to insure newly built homes and homes built within the last 5 years. So you're seeing a lot happening in Florida, right? First, people are predicting home prices too. On top of that, you have insurance Armageddon happening. A lot of people in the comments were, okay, what can they do? Subsidize like the insurance companies in some sort of way. I didn't quite understand that, but I think in some way the state helps insurance company, pay out those claims in one way or the other. It just talks about different things about Florida. I don't think a lot of people moving down here are aware of the massive home insurance problem, the cost of living, serious red tide problem, unbearable heat for 4 months. This isn't Florida 70. This is an overcrowded and overpriced area. Yeah, Florida never appealed to me. Honestly, I don't know why people, the only thing I can recognize or consider with Florida is the business advantage, right? You know, it's tax friendly, it's business friendly, things of that. But I don't really care about the weather so much. Like if I want to be in a place like that, I'll go to the Caribbean. I'll rather vacation for a week or two, get that out of my system during the winter, and then come back to a chill place. But people are liking that. Let me know you all's thoughts on what's happening in Florida. Do you think Florida will be impacted even more? Let me know your thoughts down below. Or do you live in Florida? What are you seeing in your state? All right, talk to you all later.